Everyone, today is gonna be a little bit more of a spontaneous video because I decided if I have these weird hunches what to share, I'm just gonna do it spontaneously without editing a lot and just go for it. And today I'm gonna share with you nothing about science, nothing about illustrations, nothing about technical editing or being an entrepreneur or whatever I often share. But today is going to be a little bit more personal. I'm going to give you a little tour of my sketch slash paint book. So you see a little bit of what other things people do, or specifically me. Because usually my activities mean that I sit in front of a screen, be it a computer screen or an iPad. So I try to sketch and draw as much and scribble as much as possible with my hands before I get into making a scientific illustration. And I really like to do things with my hands, and I love colors and being expressive and crazy. So I thought I'll share that with you, just because, and it's gonna be, something that I never done. Also share a little bit of my art space, well, my secondary art space, which is the kitchen table, because I do have a room where I specifically can paint in, but somehow I enjoy my kitchen table more often. So you'll get a little bit of an insight in the chaos that I have here, what it means to actually do things hands-on, and a couple of thoughts of mine when I go through the sketchbook. Yeah, so there we go. My art space, a little bit of everything, and here's my sketchbook. So I'm gonna open it, and the first page is I decided to hole punch a small painting of mine and glue the little pieces together into something else. And that was my first page of my new sketchbook. I was very happy about it. I had this idea after meditation class and I loved doing it. Then I got myself new gouache paints. Oh, well, I should have thought about uh, the orientation of the video, and I just did some scribbles trying out these new gouache paints, and I really enjoy them. Actually, before I often paint with watercolor or acrylics or all kinds of, as you see, markers, scribbles and everything. So I tried gouache and I really liked it. Afterwards I thought, like, let's do something, whatever. Nah. And I somehow didn't like it, and then I went back to well, what about just painting some organelles to ease myself into this new medium? And I think that's an illustration or a painting I actually shared with you. And after that, I thought like, I want to do a couple of bugs. So I also shared this one with you. Here I thought like, what if I can make a visual about all the chemical molecules in each one of my gouache paints and what's included in them. And you see, I didn't get far because the next one is just, I kind of got bored of it to do the research. And then I thought like, let's just paint. So I started painting. And I like to do these kinds of abstract scribbles, paints, where I don't think a lot. I just think, no, I don't think, I feel which color am I drawn to, and then I just start and make scribbles. And then it continues. And I use markers as well, graphite, and I use all kinds of different color combinations. I'm trying to combine things and see what fits best and just be messy, out of context, out of line, creative, like all kinds of, nothing of this makes sense. And here I thought like, what about some algae? So I went in from this messy, like just going crazy and creative into this more controlled painting. Well, if you notice, you'll see I prefer to do this. So then I really like geometric forms, different colors, different gradients, sometimes really sharp lines, because I thought like I want to have bold contrast. This is what I wanted to practice here, more bold contrast. Then go a little bit more smooth and a little bit more botanical, earthy tones, which I really like. Green is my favorite color. And then I started somehow finding a pattern where I would paint more like this squared like layouts with white space in between, and I really started enjoying that. So I was exploring this more a little bit with more circles. I love circles. Then a little bit more, this looks a little bit more flowery. So does this. I don't know if you know, but here you can see glitter. I love glitter, everything that's shiny. So I try to add this as well as much as possible. And here you can see that I love certain types of color combinations. Yellow, orange, red with a little bit of green. I love, in this case, all this purple, pink, blue. Here I try to, it's a little bit more of everything. And here I started to be a little bit more in one color scheme. Same here, a little bit more blue, trying to work a bit with complementary colors, orange. And then here I decided, oh, it's time to do collage again. So, and of course glitter. So I glued actually pieces of collage paper that I made first onto it and then painted on top of it. Because I decided, oh, I love collage, so I should continue this. And I did this here as well. And there was the point of, let's just paint the whole page with a color I barely use, ultramarine blue, just to push myself. And then it turned into this, which looks a little bit like a underwater world somehow. Here we continue with more collage, where I used Ernst Haeckel's drawings that I got from a paper and from some like just simple cutouts of paper from local art store that I thought were cute. Then I continued with the whole page in one color and adding other colors and playing with contrast and gluing some stickers on. And here to really fill everything. While before I was using like lots of white space, I decided I don't want to use white space anymore. And then I continued going into a completely different other color scheme, which I barely use, as red. And orange and purple and pink, having a little bit more white again. Then I came back somehow to this squared and white space in the middle, but then I switched again and added a little bit like collage again and some ink that gives this shimmery look. I don't know if you see that. And then I decided, let's do something completely different. Do 2 spreads and just make big, bold shapes with the same colors in the value, and then add contrast to it and some scribbles. I wasn't so happy with that. Second one that I did was I'm a bit more happy with, where I use more bold colors. And then this is the last one that I wanted to share, which is also the double spread, and just trying and playing around. So yeah, I don't know what will come next to this, but was my little sketchbook paintbook tour. I hope this was somehow maybe fun for you to look at, a little bit different. And this is a practice that I really love because it's calming me down a lot. I don't think at all, while I think a lot when I do scientific illustrations. And I can play, I can go crazy, I can be as creative as I want without any rules and just see what I like, what I don't like. And that one of my teachers says, do more of what you like and less of what you don't like, and just cover it up or do something different. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. I hope you're having a great day, and see you next time. Bye.